The celebration continues in Pittsburgh as the Steel City honors the Super Bowl champions. Could the Steelers be thinking repeat? We'll tell you what the champs had to say. And should this play have been a penalty for excessive celebration against the Steelers? Mike Pereira will join us for a Super Bowl edition of Official Review. And Cardinals head coach Ken Whisenhunt speaks out on the future of Kurt Warner. We'll tell you what he had to say. It's all coming up next on NFL Total Access, which starts right now.
Hey, we're going to bring a 7th championship next year, baby. Let's go do it again.
Hines, it's only the second day of the offseason. I guess the fun isn't over just yet, especially in Sixburg.
Pittsburgh Steelers! I can't hear you!
We came home with the Go, baby! Lombardi Trophy! Woo!
Big Ben enjoyed the parade too, even though he admitted there was a point in the fourth quarter when a Super Bowl victory seemed just out of reach.
I thought the game was over. I thought I blew it.
And that miraculous catch by Santonio Holmes made our top 10 plays of the playoffs, but where did it rank?
Throws it back corner of the end zone. Santonio with a touchdown! Santonio Holmes! I don't know how he did it!
On Tuesday, downtown Pittsburgh was transformed into Sixburg as thousands of Steeler fans lined the streets cheering with twirling terrible towels, celebrating the team's latest Super Bowl championship and NFL record 6th for the storied franchise. At the end of the parade route, the team addressed their beloved Steeler Nation.
You guys are the best fans in all of sports, bar none. And you know what? We got 6, so no NFL team can touch us. We can argue all we want now, right? Hey, we love you guys very much. Thanks for all your support. We appreciate it.
Pittsburgh! They can say what they want. They can talk about us all they want. But we #1 in the world!
Hey, we're going to bring a 7th championship next year, baby. Let's go do it again. Pittsburgh Steelers! I can't hear you!
I'd like to thank Coach Tomlin. You know, he did a great job of, really beating us down the first year, showing us it was his way or no way. We found out the hard way. He came back, took care of us, and we came home with the Go, baby! Lombardi Trophy! Woo! Woo!
All I gotta say about this team, though, all we did was smash faces all year.
No doubt.
All year. It's one thing to smash faces, though, 19 times, but it's another thing to smash faces every time, every Sunday, Thursday, Saturday, whenever you put us out there, but to smash faces with your brothers. And that's what we did. As a family, we went out, took everybody on, and say, step up, we're gonna stand in the middle of the field and smash your face. Pittsburgh, y'all the best fans in the world. We're gonna get another one next year.
We brought it back, baby. #6 and the one for the other thumb.
Well, meanwhile in Arizona, the Cardinals are waiting to hear if their offensive coordinator will return for another season. Adam Schefter reports that Todd Haley will meet with the Kansas City Chiefs to discuss their head coaching position. Haley is expected to join quarterback Kurt Warner and receivers Larry Fitzgerald and Anquan Bolden at the Pro Bowl on Thursday. As for Kurt Warner's timetable in deciding whether or not he's going to retire, the Arizona Republic says that Warner has informed the team that he'll need a few weeks to pray about it before making a decision. Warner added that he would like to finish his career in Arizona, and from the sounds of things, the feeling is mutual.
We've never wavered from the fact that we want Kurt back, and we're obviously going to do what we can to get that done.
Would you be surprised if he calls you up and says you're not going to walk, you're just going to retire and hang up? Would you be surprised if he did that?
You know, I couldn't tell you if I'd be surprised or not. I think that, there's been a lot of talk about that even from after the Jet game earlier in the season. So, it's been out there. I think Kurt and I have had great talks during the year, not necessarily about this. So he's going to do it the right way, and I respect that.
And as Adam Schefter reported last week that it would happen today, Raiders, well, they made it official, naming Tom Cable as their new head coach. Cable went 4-8 as the interim replacement for Lane Kiffin, winning his last 2 games and 3 of the final 6. The team has scheduled a press conference for 4 p.m. Eastern Wednesday, which we will bring to you live here on NFL Network. A look at Tom Cable's road. He was named the interim head coach following the dismissal of Lane Kiffin. He's been the Raiders' offensive line coach since 2007. Before that, following a season in Atlanta in the same capacity. In college, he was the head coach at Idaho, served as an offensive coordinator for UCLA and Colorado. The Raiders, again, 4-8 under Tom Cable's leadership. Hello and welcome to Stage 1 here at NFL Network, along with the coach, Jim Moreeeee. I'm Darren Horton. It is great to have you along with us. There's so much going on. We got coaches on the move. We've got the Super Bowl celebration, people talking about a 7th Lombardi trophy. Let me ask you about Tom Cable. What do you think? Is he the guy to lead the Raiders back to excellence?
I think this is a good decision by Al Davis, making him the head coach. What they did when he took over, they were a dismal team at the beginning of the season. He took over, 4-8, but they got better as the season went on, especially offensively, and he's an offensive guy. Winning their last 2 games, they beat the Houston Texans, a team on the rise at that point, a pretty good football team. The last game, they go down to Tampa Bay. All Tampa Bay has to do is win that game, and they go to the playoffs, and the Oakland Raiders beat them. I think he made that team better. I watched Tom Cable. I like what I see. I think he kind of fits that Raider image when I look at him. I think it's a good decision by the Raiders, and I think he'll do a good job there.
Yeah, they finished strong. You know, the Super Bowl, they're now saying, was the highest-rated Super Bowl in the history of Super Bowls, the Steelers and the Cardinals. Let's take one more look at Kurt Warner, of course, the NFL Man of the Year, Ken Whisenhunt. You know the storyline of him taking on his old team, his old quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. Of course, the big play, second quarter, Steelers up 10-7, Cards ball, first and goal at the Steelers 1. Warner intercepted by James Harrison, and he's bringing it back. He's got blockers. He's going 100 yards for the touchdown. The flag on the play was against the Cards, and Harrison would eventually make his way across the goal line. Larry Fitzgerald couldn't bring him down beforehand. And, of course, the play was reviewed. And Harrison.
It's just an incredible individual effort by James Harrison, but he got a lot of help from his teammates that came down, helped him out, helped him get into the end zone by making some key blocks. But a great play by Harrison.
Longest play in the history of the Super Bowl. Mike Pereira going to talk about this play, a little controversy at the end of it. There were some questions as to whether or not, if Harrison was brought down, whether or not that would have prevented a score by the Steelers. Fourth quarter action now. This is Warner to Fitzgerald. He's going to pick up 18 yards. And then 3 plays later on a 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, it's Warner going up top, jump ball for Larry Fitzgerald.
Nobody does it better with this kind of a play than Larry Fitzgerald. He's tall, got great jumping ability, and he's physical. He's strong. He can go up and he can take the ball away from the defender. He's as good as there is at this kind of play.
Kurt Warner was 8 for 8 on that drive. After the Cards punt, they pin the Steelers back. Roethlisberger hits Holmes. It looked like it was a 19-yard gain and a first down, but a safety called after a holding penalty on Justin Hartwig. So that made it 20-16 after this call. Later on,
second and 10. Warner has time. Fitzgerald into Steeler territory. 30, 20, 10. Arizona has the lead.
so the Cards take a 23-20 lead on that play to touchdown to Fitzgerald, but here comes Roethlisberger.
Rushing 5. Ben pumps, throws, caught. Holmes. Francisco falls down. Holmes is going to take it inside the 10, and he's going to get to the 5-yard line. 4-man rush. Ben coming back the other way, and Holmes can't make that catch. Another slot left. Washington outside left. Roethlisberger has time. Throws to the back of the end zone, and it is caught for a touchdown by Holmes. Unbelievable. Incredible. And the Pittsburgh Steelers become the first franchise in history to win 6 Super Bowls.
about teams of the decade. The Steelers are making a good argument. Of the 9 Super Bowls that have been played thus far this decade, more than half have been won by the Patriots and Steelers, who have made an appearance in 6 of those games. We have one more Super Bowl this decade. You know, everybody talks about the Steelers, a team of the 70s, the Niners of the 80s, the Cowboys of the 90s. What do you think is a team right now of the 2000s?
Well, I don't think it's any question. The Steelers are number 2. I think the New England Patriots are the team of the decade. Both these teams have been, there's been 9 seasons in this decade. Both these teams have been in the playoffs 6 of the seasons, out of the playoffs 3 of the seasons. The Patriots have 14 playoff wins. That's more than any other team. The Steelers have 10 playoff wins, okay? And the Patriots have been to 4 Super Bowls, won 3. Patriots have been to 4, won 3. The Steelers have been to 2, won both of them. The only other team that has multiple appearances in a Super Bowl are the New York Giants. So I got the Patriots, the team of the decade, Steelers number 2, maybe the Giants number 3.
But if they were to win the Super Bowl in 2009, after this season, then perhaps they can get in that argument.
That's a big if.
And one of the questions that you have to ask when you think about next season is the free agency situation with the Pittsburgh Steelers. You can take a look. Their number 2 and 3 quarterback insurance policies are both unrestricted free agents in 2009, as are linemen Max Starks, Marvell Smith, and Chris Kamioatu. Right tackle Willie Colon, restricted free agents. Fortunately for the Champs, it seems like they're pretty secure with their skill positions. What about when you look at the names on this list, do you get worried at all?
I'm not too worried. You're talking about 2 starters, really, in Moreeeee and Max Starks, 2 offensive linemen. And then the Nate Washington, who's really a starter. He's their 3rd wide receiver, but he plays a lot when they have 3 or 4 wide receivers on the field. And then their punter, Mitch Berger, who wasn't on that list. So really, I think they're in great shape as far as their free agents are concerned. I don't know where they stand as far as the salary cap is concerned, whether they can hang on to these 2 guys or 3 guys that they would like to hang on to, I'm sure, or who they can acquire off the free agent list from other teams. But I think this team's in great shape. They got a young quarterback. They got a good running back. I think they need to upgrade their offensive line. Now, they got 2 other starters that are unrestricted free agents. And so if they like these 2 guys, they need to sign them. But I think they need to upgrade that area. But defensively, they're all set. Quarterback, all set. Good receivers. They're in pretty good shape.
All right, Coach, our official review segment is coming up as we continue here on NFL Total Access. Mike Pereira will join us to talk about some of the controversial calls from Super Bowl 43. Plus, we'll dissect the play that won it all for the Steelers. Just how did Big Ben get that pass into Santonio Holmes' hands? Coach will take a closer look. And with the end of the regular season comes the start of the path to the draft. Coming up a little bit later on in the show, Charles Davis will join us to tell us about some of the players to keep an eye on at the NFL Scouting Combine.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
Every Saturday, ESPN America brings you the game of the week.
One-time score! What a great hustle play. The Angels shock the Indians.
Get a second chance to catch the game everyone's been talking about.
Canomo scores!
ESPN America's Game of the Week. Check espnamerica.com for more details.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com.
Hey, let's get off the field. Hey, let's get off the field, D. Let's go. Bang him. Bang him. Tackle. Tackle. Sack fumble. There you go. There you go, Foxy. There you go, Foxy. Woo! 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 Touchdown. Kick it. That Mike Tomlin show, that's a hell of a show. You need to watch that on a weekly basis.
I'll check it out.
I mean, I hear it's pretty good.
Hey, it must be.
For live commentary, news and stats, scrum.com. Instant rugby, anywhere.
Then Vince Lombardi has done it once again.
The New York Jets are the world champions.
Throwing under pressure, throws his pass, caught by Clark.
The New York Giants are the Super Bowl 42 champions.
What about right now? What about right now? Huh? Huh? Would you give it all up for me right now? I got you. Huh? Let's go then.
According to Nielsen's ratings, Super Bowl 43 was the most watched Super Bowl in the history of the NFL. 98.5 million people watched the game. The 2008 Super Bowl held the previous record. And you can see this nail-biter once again this Wednesday at 8:30 on NFL Replay. Our producers have condensed down all the plays, added the sound bites and the NFL films. NFL Replay of Super Bowl 43 Wednesday at 8:30. And it's time now for the final official review of this 2008 season. We welcome in Mike Pereira, the Vice President of NFL Officiating, to talk about this Super Bowl, some of the calls that were made. Mike, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Darren. How are you?
I'm doing well. Let's begin. Second and goal for the Steelers. They're trailing 23-20. You know about the touchdown pass to Santonio Holmes, 43 seconds left. And then Holmes gets mobbed after, and he does this imitation of LeBron James with the ball, using the ball as a prop. Mike, why was this not called as a penalty?
Well, it would have been if we'd have seen it. I mean, it was one of these plays where it happened so far after the play was over. I mean, our guys did a great job in making the call in the first place, and then they actually stayed with it. When you watch it here, just the live shot, Greg Gotro makes the call and then does everything I ask him to do. Watch, watch, watch. Nothing seemed like it's going to happen. And, you know, there's a great period of time. This is all acceptable celebration. And then after he starts to get up, you can see that really after that whole length of time, we've turned away. You'll see the official turn away here because we're setting up for the try. And this is actually Mark Perlman. Had he ended up facing this, we certainly would have called this. But in that delay, usually the celebrations happen in the action right after the catch. And this one was so long after we had actually turned back and we're looking for the extra point and didn't actually see the action. But you're right. It is clearly using the ball as a prop, and it would have been a foul if we'd have seen it.
Wow. All right. The second play we're going to review here is 1st and 10 for the Cardinals from the 44-yard line. 15 seconds left in the game. Trailing 27-23. Kurt Warner gets hit by Lamar Woodley. Looks like his arm was close to coming for. The ball comes loose. Frank Kiesel recovers for the Steelers. The play was not reviewed, Mike. A lot of people felt like this could have potentially been a forward pass. Why was there not more time taken to review this play?
Well, it was reviewed. You just need to understand the mechanics. Inside of 2 minutes, the replay assistant has a job to do upstairs, and that's to either to confirm that the play was called correctly on the field or if he's not sure, then to send it down and have the referee take a look and make the final decision. Really, at this time, Bobby McGrath had quite a bit of time because we had a penalty associated with the play. So he got to look at all the reviews, and he determined, which he is correct, that it was a fumble, and it is clearly a fumble. So that confirmation, he got the confirmation. He phoned to me and to TV to say that he confirmed it. He did his job. Looking back at it now, after the fact, you know, it was close enough, although it wouldn't change anything whatsoever. McCauley has seen the play. It is a fumble. Had he stopped it, it would have stayed a fumble. But again, looking back at it, at that big of a play at the end of the game, I'd have sent it down and given Terry McCauley a chance to look at it and confirm what McGrath saw and what Terry knew, that it was a fumble. So you learn and you go back from this and saying that next time it happens at this point of the game, this big of a play, let's go ahead and get it shut down. But he got this shot, as you just showed. Here the ball turns in his hand before the arm starts forward. It's the hand that's the key indicator, and it was that contact on the way up. You see the ball get partially knocked out of his hand. He has to have total control. It is a fumble, but as I said, in the end, I wish we would have sent it down to let Terry take a look and confirm it there also.
Yeah, it's a bang-bang play, but the bottom line is you guys got it right.
Right.
The third play we have is on a 1st and goal for the Cardinals. 18 seconds left in this game. In the first half, I should say, trailing 10-7. James Harrison, of course, intercepts the Kurt Warner pass and then rumbles 100 yards for the touchdown, a potential 14-point swing. The Cardinals could have been up by 4. They ended up trailing by 10. If he had been ruled down, if he had been tackled inside the 1 yard line, if he hadn't gotten in across the goal line, would the half have ended? Because we've heard a lot of people say if he could have just tackled him before the goal line, the half would have ended.
Hey, I thought more about this play as it happened than I did about the play at the end of the game. For that reason alone, because watch the clock at the bottom of the screen. You know, I mean, I'm looking at this, and then you get into the what ifs, and that was your point there. What if he had gotten knocked out of bounds, or what if we had ruled him short here and the clock had turned 0? Would the half have been over? And you know, that was a question that was asked after the game, and lost in that was the fact that there was a penalty called on this play. There was a face mask called on number 74 of Arizona prior to the interception. And so it took this whole element out of whether they would have another play or not, because a personal foul by the offensive team before an interception is actually tacked on to the end of the play, and then the period is extended. So no matter what we would have ended up ruling, even if we would have reversed it and put it down short, we would have had another play and extended the half.
And the final play, Mike, the Steelers leading 17-7, 3.5 minutes to go, left in the third quarter. Steelers kick a field goal, but they take the points off the board when Adrian Wilson is called for roughing the holder, Mitch Berger. This is a call that you almost never see. A lot of people may not have even known that this rule even existed, Mike. Can you tell us more about that?
It's such, I mean, I haven't seen it, I will tell you that. This is the first time I've seen it, because you never think of a rusher trying to block a kick taking any kind of an angle that would get him close to the holder. And yet the book is very clear that there's 3 types of roughness penalties you can have: roughing the passer, roughing the kicker, roughing the holder. Interestingly enough, you can have roughing the kicker, or you could have running into the kicker. You can't have running into the holder. You can only have a roughness penalty against the holder. He is defenseless. A lot of time he's a backup kicker, or he is the place kicker, or a backup quarterback, and needs to be protected. But certainly the fouling player was not coming off a block. It was contact that merited unnecessary roughness, but indeed unusual.
Mike Pereira, thank you so much for a terrific year. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you.
When NFL Total Access returns after official review, who is Michael Crabtree, and why should you be watching his performance at the Combine? Charles Davis will tell you why next.
Tonight on ESPN America.
There are 380,000 NCAA student athletes. And most of us will go pro
in something other than sports.
In something other than sports. To learn more, go to ncaa.org.
ESPN America takes you to Aloha Stadium, Honolulu for the 2009 Pro Bowl.
Hold on, touchdown.
The AFC's best take on the NFC's top flight in a post-Super Bowl showdown.
Touchdown, no flags.
Live Sunday night on ESPN America.
Well, the 2008 season may be over, but preparations for the 2009 NFL season are well underway. We hopped on the path to the draft at the Senior Bowl, and now we unpack more of this draft class starting on February 19th with the 2009 NFL Scouting Combine presented by Under Armour. And to talk about some of the players we can anticipate seeing at the Combine, we welcome in Charles Davis, NFL Network college football and draft expert. Charles, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Darren. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm a team in the NFL, and I'm shopping for a running back. Give me a guy. Give me a name that we should keep an eye on at the Combine.
Well, Darren, I could give you all the usual suspects. I mean, I could say Chris Beanie Wells out of Ohio State. You know, I could go right down the line and say, oh, you know all these players. But how about Donald Brown from the University of Connecticut, UConn? He's a guy that I think, Darren, it will be overlooked because he's playing in the Big East. UConn isn't a super high-profile football school, although they've become a consistent bowl threat. But he's a guy who I liken to last year's draft. Matt Forte and Kevin Smith, both out of Conference USA, both over 2,000 yards in a season. Didn't get as much mention or acclaim nationally, but both were big-time selections, both starters as rookies, and Matt Forte, a terrific player for the Bears. With Donald Brown, I think you get the same thing. You get a guy who's over 2,000 yards, 261 in his last game against Buffalo. He can catch the ball a little bit out of the backfield, but when I talk with different people who played against him, the same things keep coming up. Toughness, durability, gets better with every carry as the game goes on. He's that type of a back who wears down defenses. A horse for work, does not mind carrying the football. We heard about Javon Ringer at Michigan State carrying it the most in the country. Donald Brown was the same type of a guy at UConn. So keep an eye on him at the Combine. I think he's a guy who may flash.
It doesn't hurt that he led the entire nation in rushing. Let's talk wide receivers. I've heard Michael Crabtree, he's put up some outstanding numbers. You think he's going to be able to make some noise on Sundays in the NFL?
I don't think there's any doubt that he'll make noise on Sundays in the NFL, Darren. There's only one question mark about Michael Crabtree, and it's a very interesting dilemma because everything you see of him on tape just screams, go get this guy. Toughness, durability, played with a bad ankle for most of last year. Goes and catches the ball with his hands, which sounds elementary, but how many times do we see guys who are body catchers that don't translate into the NFL? Knows how to separate, runs routes well. The only question mark, if you want to call it that, the only thing the NFL really doesn't know, what is his flat line, straight ahead speed? We don't have a 40 time on Michael Crabtree. So there'll be great anticipation at the Combine if Michael Crabtree elects to run the 40-yard dash, which he may or may not do. But I, for one, am looking forward to seeing him toe the line and run the 40 so that we have a stopwatch time on him, which I really don't care about anyway, Darren. This guy's a big-time receiver, the best one in the draft. I don't care what the watch says. I think he'll be successful in the NFL.
Charles, I've read comparisons to Braylon Edwards. You feel like that's fair?
I think it's fair, and no offense to Braylon Edwards, but better, more consistent hands.
All right, let's talk defense. How about the linebacker that you've been keeping an eye on, Charles?
Yeah, how about the Butkus Award winner from Wake Forest, Aaron Curry? I mean, how many times have you have the words rolled off of your tongue, Darren? Butkus Award winner, Wake Forest. The answer's never. I mean, this is an unbelievable story. This is a guy, because we're in the height of recruiting. All right, we're right now about to sign all the high school kids going to college. It's a big day in college football. Aaron Curry slipped so far below the radar. You know, they give 5 stars and 4 stars and 3 stars. I don't know if Aaron Curry had a 1.5 stars, 2 stars, whatever. An undersized guy, about 190 pounds out of high school, that turned into a heck of a football player. And what I'm looking forward to watching is him work out in the combine now alongside more highly publicized linebackers. Guys like the trio out of USC, Ray Maualuga, Brian Cushing, Clay Matthews Jr., working out alongside James Laurinaitis and Marcus Freeman from Ohio State. I could go on and on. But the Butkus Award winner as top linebacker in the country, awarded by the man himself, Dick Butkus, right on campus, was Aaron Curry. And he may be the first linebacker taken in the NFL draft. But most people don't know about him because he played at Wake Forest and doesn't get the same publicity.
Charles, I love walking down this path to the draft with you, my friend. Good seeing you, Charles. Thanks a lot.
Always a pleasure, Darren. You take care, too.
All right, when we continue here on NFL Total Access, from sitting in freezing temperatures at Heinz Field to the terrible towel, Steeler fans eat, breathe, sleep this team. When NFL Total Access returns, we'll take a look at why they love the black and gold.
NHL on ESPN America.
He scores!
Don't miss the big hits. The league's brightest stars.
Panic scores!
And all the fantastic finishes. Catch the NHL playoffs as hockey's best fight for a place in the 2009 Stanley Cup Finals.
Stanley Cup.
Experience the NHL on ESPN America. Get ready for some great college basketball on ESPN America. See live games from the best teams and conferences every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Plus college game day every Saturday afternoon. Rivalries, drama, fantastic skill, and spectacles. Experience it all with college basketball on ESPN America. Visit ESPNAmerica.com for schedules and information.
Super Bowl 43 was the most watched game in history. Nielsen Media Research said 98.7 million people on average were watching Pittsburgh's exciting 27-23 victory over Arizona Sunday night. That beats the 97.5 million who watched the 2008 game, which held the record for the most popular Super Bowl. And coming up at the top of the hour, it's top 10 things that changed the game. The NFL's top 10 debates the biggest game changers in history. But first, the Oakland Raiders will introduce Tom Cable as their new head coach Wednesday at a news conference scheduled for 4:15 Eastern. And we'll bring you that news conference live right here on NFL Network. As we told you earlier, according to our Adam Schefter, the Chiefs have asked for and received permission to interview Todd Haley for their head coaching vacancy, and they'll speak sometime this week. In 2008, the Cardinals won the NFC West and had one of the highest scoring offenses in the league. The receiver formerly known as Chad Johnson says he'll not only keep his new name for the 2009 season, but his appointments with the Bengals as well. Last year, Johnson did not show until the mandatory minicamp in mid-June. Chad says he plans to be at Paul Brown Stadium, quote, whenever they want us there. Meanwhile, Jets offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer says he would welcome the opportunity to coach Brett Favre again. Schottenheimer has not spoken to the 39-year-old quarterback since the end of the season, Favre is contemplating whether to retire or come back for his 19th NFL season and second with New York. He's expected to make a decision in the next few weeks. The Buccaneers have promoted Doug Williams to coordinator of pro scouting. Williams' responsibilities include coordinating the scouting and recruiting of all NFL players, while also monitoring NFL transactions and overseeing player tryouts. Williams has been with the Buccaneers as a personnel executive since 2004. When the Pittsburgh Steelers beat the Arizona Cardinals Sunday night in Super Bowl 43, they laid claim to an unprecedented 6th Lombardi trophy. Steeler fans everywhere rejoiced in Pittsburgh, throughout Western Pennsylvania, across the United States, and really all around the world. Adam Schefter has more.
On their way to another Super Bowl, the Steelers have answered all sorts of questions. But now there's another. What is Steeler Nation?
Steeler Nation? It's Pittsburgh, and it's the fans, it's the players, it's everything about the city.
It's like a cult. There's one nation. That's Steeler Nation.
We still view ourselves as an honest, hard-working city, and the Steelers represent us in that way on the football field.
The team's gritty. There's no pretty boys on it. Look at me, I'm not a handsome guy, but I can relate to the Steelers.
We got enough. Pack your lunch, go to work, and you got to accomplish things every single day. And the Steelers are so much like that.
Wherever you look, there's black and gold.
For little old ladies like me, it's pretty special.
I don't know how anybody could be more of America's team than the Pittsburgh Steelers.
People say the Cowboys are America's team. America's team lives right here in Pittsburgh.
You can go to any city in any state, and there's a Steelers bar.
A lot of fans in the military.
Internationally, I've been to Capos, Costa Rica, and been to a Steeler bar. I've been to Belfast, Ireland, Monaghan, Ireland. In the Bahamas, we ran into a Steeler bar. It's no matter where you go, you're going to find somebody who loves the Pittsburgh Steelers.
There's a bond between the fans and the team that's older than the current players. When Pittsburgh was down, the Steelers were there to lift it up.
In the 70s, the steel industry had collapsed, and a lot of people were out of work. A lot of people's lives were destroyed, but it coincided with the Steelers getting good. And as tough as people's lives were, they could say to themselves, yeah, we're down, but we've got the best damn football team in the world.
My great-grandfather actually worked in this plant. My grandfather and father both worked in the steel industry. I think with some of the tough economic times, the one thing that people always had was the Steelers.
I believe it gave everybody something to hold on to. We could always go home on a Sunday and root for the Steelers.
When the steel industry was laying people off, the Steelers gave you some hope.
You know, everybody was losing their jobs and having to leave the area, and with the Steelers, without them, I don't know what would have happened.
Because of the economic climate here, the decline of the steel mills, a lot of younger people have moved out of town. So you have a lot of transplanted Pittsburghers all around this country.
So when exactly does someone become an official member of Steeler Nation?
Comes from birth. It starts from the time the sperm meets the egg, and you become a Steeler fan right then and there in the womb.
My commitment to this team has been it's been from birth.
When you're born in Western Pennsylvania, you get a birth certificate and a terrible towel.
I grew up teething on a terrible towel.
Well, I was born. My dad wrapped me up in a terrible towel, and that was pretty much the story.
You just raised from birth to be a Steeler fan.
We all bleed black and gold, and that's it. There's no other team.
I have a son who's 3 months old, and I loved getting him dressed in his Steeler gear. He was born on a Friday. The Steelers played Monday night against the Washington Redskins, and dressed him up in his Steeler outfit, had the terrible towel there in front of him.
I grew up in a Steeler house. I mean, everybody did.
It's fun watching my mom yell at somebody besides me.
A Roethlisberger is sausage and burger mixed with American cheese and egg and fried onions, and it comes with lettuce, tomato, and mayo.
Best fans in all the sports.
This is the Roethlisberger.
I remember watching the Steelers on a 10-by-10 screen attached to an oak tree, and the whole neighborhood would come down and just drink a barrel of beer.
I snuck down on the field that day.
And there's a collision. It's caught out of the air. The ball is pulled in by Franco Harris.
A lot of people think that ball hit the ground, but believe me, I seen it. The ball did not hit the ground.
34 years after Pittsburgh won its first Super Bowl title, the connection between the team and its fans is as strong as steel.
It's like going to church on Sunday. You know, it just gives you a renewed feeling.
That's my big thing of the week, the game. My 78-year-old mother, when she comes home from church, she got that TV on and she's sitting there waiting and watching the game.
Troy Polamalu intercepts the ball, jumps up and down, runs 40 yards and goes and scores a touchdown. You'd have thought those guys all hit the lottery. 65,000 people in that stadium just went crazy. They didn't care about the unemployment rate in the area. They didn't care that they had to go to work the next day. That was their pinnacle. That was their Christmas.
It was electric. It was unbelievable.
The connection they have with the team drives the team.
I hear stories now with people trying to get down to Tampa Bay, remortgaging their houses to get money out.
I have friends driving down, no tickets, no hotel room, just driving down to go.
You live and die to Steelers.
Till death do us part. We are Steeler Nation, and it'll live on forever.
And when NFL Total Access returns, how great a catch was this Santonio Holmes touchdown? Even Big Ben didn't think Holmes could get it. Find out what the Super Bowl winning QB had to say about it next.
ESPN America knows football. Do you? Handling the ball is part of the game. Getting sacked is not just about losing your job. A face mask is not what you wear on Halloween. The bigger guy is the nose tackle. This, not this, is a flea flicker. And Trojans are not just a brand of condom. ESPN America, American for sports.
So, anyone good?
Yeah, I got Ellis, Penny, and K-Mac, 3-time Architect of the Year. Who'd you get?
There are over 380,000 NCAA student athletes.
Check it out. The Jay Campbell rookie card. No way! That guy dominates in the lab. Yeah.
And just about all of them will be going pro in something other than sports.
I didn't know he minored in French.
February the 3rd, 2008. At stake, the Vince Lombardi Trophy. The New England Patriots trying to rewrite history. The Giants, an improbable rival.
This Giant team has faith in their hearts. They think they can win this game.
And Super Bowl 42 is underway.
Second down and goal to go. Maroney right side. In. Touchdown, Lawrence Maroney.
Sacked by Michael Strahan. Steps up, sacked again.
Loses the ball.
This Giant defense is really, really good.
Play fake, Manning to throw to the end zone, touchdown! Back to throw, lobs one right for Morse, touchdown! The Patriots have the lead with 2:42 to go. Manning under pressure, avoids the rod, still fights out of it, now throws it deep downfield, wide open Tyree, who makes the catch!
What a play.
39 seconds to go. Manning lobs it left. First is wide open. The New York Giants are the Super Bowl 42 champions.
Roethlisberger takes the snap out of the gun. Looking right, looking left, and now throws to the far side. Pass for Holmes is caught. Santonio Holmes. And the Steelers are back in front.
I was getting ready to start running, and then I saw about 5 guys closing on me. I knew my life was about to end. So I saw Santonio in the corner, and as soon as I let go of it, I saw the defensive back going to get. I thought I was intercepted. I thought the game was over. I thought I blew it, and you know what? He made a heck of a catch. Yeah. He really did.
Ben Roethlisberger on with David Letterman. You know, in NFL lore, there's the drive, there's the catch, and I know you think that throw was pretty special by Roethlisberger. Why?
It was why? Because he didn't have much of a margin for error. There was 3 guys back there defending Holmes in pretty good shape. Not great shape, or they'd have knocked down the pass down. Pretty good shape, but he had to throw that thing in perfectly for Santonio to make the catch. Now, he made a great catch, don't get me wrong. That had to be a perfectly thrown pass by Ben Roethlisberger.
Let's take a look at the play. They always talk about that window in the NFL.
That's what it was. He had the window. Look at this play. He had 5 guys coming at him. He's only got 4 guys right there. It was a 4-man rush, so they're playing zone coverage. He's looking around back there, bides some time. Look at that. 3 guys in pretty good shape. That pass had to be perfectly thrown. We're going to see another view of it here. Now watch this.
Ooh!
rule, it's about 4 inches above that guy's fingers. If it's a little bit lower, it's deflected or intercepted. If it's a little bit higher, it's incomplete over Holmes' hands. This is a great throw and a great catch. The defenders could have been a little bit closer, but it wasn't really bad defense by the Arizona Cardinals. That's just a greatly executed play by the quarterback and the receiver. And there's a guy that said, hey, I just won the Super Bowl. I'm fired up.
Is there anything that the Arizona Cardinals defense could have done differently, Coach?
On that play?
On that play.
Yeah, they could have knocked the pass down, you know. I mean, they could have been a little bit closer to home so that they were in a little bit better position to defend the play. Knock the pass down, you know, or intercept it. That would have been more that they could do. I mean, they weren't quite close enough to him, but they weren't in bad position, and they had 3 guys back there.
You know what I would have done?
What?
I'd have pushed him out of bounds. You know, I mean, why not? The new rules, they wouldn't have called that, you know, so who knows?
I don't know. That's just a great play by the Steelers.
Yeah, it was a terrific play.
To win the game,
yeah.
To win the Super Bowl, yeah.
Amazing. Still to come here on NFL Total Access, the staff at NFL Network was completely divided over whether that Holmes TD or this interception return for a touchdown by James Harrison was the #1 play of the postseason. So which play won? Stick around and find out.
ESPN America takes you to Aloha Stadium, Honolulu for the 2009 Pro Bowl.
Held on, touchdown.
The AFC's best take on the NFC's top flight in a post-Super Bowl showdown.
Touchdown, no flags.
Live Sunday night on ESPN America.
For the widest choice of official North American sports merchandise, for the perfect gift to collect or just to look good and support your team, visit espnamerica.com. Fitzgerald in the slot. Touchdown. Fitzgerald. This drive. Oh, the breaks another tackle.
Way did he just do that? That is a bad man. That's going to be on every NFL highlight film.
Fitzgerald leads.
From now until eternity.
Touchdown, Cardinals.
Of the red zone.
You know, one thing that stands out of both of them is that they're big, strong receivers. Where I think they differ is you got a guy like Anquan. I think DBs fear him because he's so big and he's so strong, but he's also got the quickness to make you miss. What separates Larry is his ability to go and get the football. You know, I've never seen anyone with his kind of size that's able to control their body in such a way that they can go get any football.
What a catch by Anquan Boldin. Touchdown, Larry Fitzgerald.
Well, get another look at tomorrow's college and NFL stars as NFL Network brings you the rebroadcast of the U.S. Army All-American Bowl. That's coming up this Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. Time now for the top 10 plays of the week, or the playoffs, I should say, presented by KFC. So what was number 10? How about Vincent Jackson, 41-yard touchdown catch? What do you think of that?
Great catch. You know, the defender's right there, and Jackson comes down with the ball.
Then number 9, it's the AFC Divisionals. Santonio Holmes takes the punt back for 67 yards. So Pittsburgh wins it 35-24. Number 8.
He is going deep. He wants to Sean Jackson, who has it. He has it and steps into the end zone.
Number 7, the AFC Championship game. Troy Polamalu returns an interception, 40 yards for the touchdown. Pittsburgh, of course, wins it.
I love to see this play. This guy's a hitter, you know, physical, but here he makes an athletic play, interception, runs it in for a TD.
Number 6, the NFC Championship game, Arizona and Philadelphia. Larry Fitzgerald, 62-yard touchdown off the trick play there, Coach.
You could have Larry Fitzgerald in a lot of these plays.
Arizona, of course, won that 32-25. Number 5 from the AFC wild card between Baltimore and Miami.
Gets the throw deep down the left side and is picked off. Intercepted by Reed. Makes the turn. He's to the 45, to 50, 45 in Miami territory. Down to the 35. Picks up blockers. Down to the 20. Down to the 10. 5. Touchdown. And Reed has done it again.
Number 4 from the NFC Divisionals. Arizona and Carolina. Larry Fitzgerald leaps over 2 Panthers for a spectacular 50-yard grab.
Incredible catch. This guy, what a playoff series he had. The 3 wins and then the Super Bowl. Amazing.
Number 3 in the Super Bowl, Larry Fitzgerald takes the pass and goes 64 yards. And you're thinking, all right, the Cardinals are in business. As for the number 1 play, is it Super Bowl 43, James Harrison?
Here's the snap. Looks to throw. Quick pitch. Over the middle. Picked off. It is intercepted. Picked off by Harrison. Running down the near side of the 30, 35, 40, 45. Breaks the tackle. Down to the 40. Has a block and cuts back the other way. Down to the 20. Down to the 10. Down to the 5. And he is in. Touchdown, Pittsburgh.
Or is it Santonio Holmes, the 6-yard touchdown reception with just 35 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter? That was the game-winning touchdown. Which one would you call the number 1 play from the playoffs?
You know, the last two were outstanding, and I'd have to go with Harrison's, though. How often do you see a 240-pound, 6-foot linebacker do what he did, show the athletic ability, and go 100 yards for an interception touchdown?
Well, Coach, you have to go on NFL.com. You get to vote. We're asking all the viewers out there to vote for the number 1 play in the playoffs. Just go to NFL.com. It's either James Harrison with a 100-yard interception return or Santonio Holmes' game-winning touchdown reception. When NFL Total Access returns, President Barack Obama rooted for the Steelers in Super Bowl 43. So what could he have possibly said to Ken Wisenhunt?
Hockey night in Canada roars on.
Score! A wrister through a screen.
This week, the Habs host the Maple Leafs. Then Vancouver attempts to slow down the Blackhawks' high-flying attack.
Beautiful goal!
A live doubleheader. Saturday night on ESPN America.
Let's go out, start it fast, leave nothing on the field, come out swinging.
They're going nuts here as the Cardinals embark on their first postseason in a decade.
This place is loud. It's beautiful.
It's 2nd and 5 now. They're going to keep it on the ground with James. It's a flea flicker.
Oh, you got it.
Warner going to throw deep. Near side going for Fitz. He's in double coverage. It doesn't matter. He caught it anyway. Touchdown Cardinals.
Let's go now. This is our time. Our time. Let's go.
Ryan now back to throw. He's in trouble in the end zone. And
safety. Safety.
It's a safety.
Yeah. We got a chance to win the game. Let's take it down the field and win it.
We're talking about the ball game right here. 3rd down and 16. Firing over the middle. Spock wide open. Caught inside the 30. It's a first down for the Cardinals.
That's it. That's the game. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. First thing I want to say. Let's go. You guys did a great job of hanging in there and competing. Way to win it as a team, guys. Way to win it as a team.
Will you get that camera out my face, man?
There's one right out of the football follies for you.
Slippery little devil, this football today. Shameful.
You gotta be kidding.
Embarrassing. What in the world happened? Holy smoke.
Now for your Pro Bowl update presented by State Farm down in Honolulu. Preparations for the final professional football game of the season are underway. You see the AFC squad practicing. Meanwhile, our Jamie Dukes caught up with Peyton and Eli Manning to find out what advice Big Brother is giving to Little Brother.
I'm proud of this outfit. I like this.
Nice outfit. You got it working it?
So he's good. So he listened on that note. He's got a good pair of sunglasses. Right. The Ray-Ban. I told him to, work on the tanning of the legs before he got out here so he didn't blind anybody with those legs. I'm giving him a C grade on that. Those are, it looks like you went to the paling bed.
In New York, there's not a lot of sun these last couple months.
I'll give you a little slack.
And our coverage from Hawaii of the State Farm Pro Bowl game kicks off on Wednesday's edition of NFL Total Access. Jamie Dukes will have more of that interview with the Manning brothers, as well as interviews with Brandon Marshall, Drew Brees, much, much more. And that was your Pro Bowl update presented by State Farm. Well, all the pomp and circumstance, the confetti and the champagne, rightfully reserved for the victors. But what about those Cardinals? They were 2 minutes and 37 seconds away from being Super Bowl champions. What do they get? Well, for one, Ken Whisenhunt got a phone call from the newly elected President of the United States, Barack Obama.
Probably the most notable call was yesterday afternoon from President Obama, just congratulating our team on the success that it had, and was very impressed with the way our men had played, and that was, quite special.
When did that happen, Ken?
It was, I don't know what time it was. It was when I got in yesterday afternoon after we landed, and I was actually just walking in my front door.
You called your house?
They called my cell phone. I don't know how they got my number.
Time now for 4 Downs, presented by Best Buy. We just heard about President Obama calling Ken Whisenhunt. Who's the most famous person you've ever met?
In 1984, when I was coaching the Philadelphia Stars in the USFL, we won the championship our second year. We got invited to Washington, D.C. We met with not the president, but with the vice president of the United States, George Herbert Walker Bush.
He loves the golf, from what I understand. The Raiders named Tom Cable as their new head coach. One piece of advice for him:
be your own guy, but make sure you get along with the owner, Al Davis.
All right, 3rd down. The Dolphins are projected to have the NFL's toughest schedule in 2009. Do they make the postseason, Coach?
I don't think they will. They do have the toughest schedule. They play the AFC South and the NFC South, plus the Steelers and the Chargers. I don't think they're going to make it.
4th down. Santonio Holmes, MVP. Did he deserve it?
I think he did, but I would have voted for Ben Roethlisberger.
All right, Coach. That's 4 Downs, presented by Best Buy. You're going to go play some golf, right?
Not today.